This morning, if Israel does not change its tactics in Gaza, the U.S. will change its policy towards Israel. That is what President Biden said yesterday during a phone call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. NBC's Alice Barr reports from Washington. Alice, good morning.
Good morning, Isabel. The Israeli government is already responding to some of what President Biden outlined in that phone call, but the White House is waiting to see action to protect the innocent in Gaza. In the first concrete step since a tense phone call between President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel has agreed to open 2 new routes to get more desperately needed humanitarian aid into Gaza. That's according to U.S. officials who say the plans now need to quickly turn to action.
If there's no changes to their policy and their approaches, then there's going to have to be changes to ours.
For the first time, President Biden appeared to indicate the U.S. could condition more military aid to Israel based on how Netanyahu responds to the president's demands for clear measures to protect civilians and aid workers and relieve the humanitarian crisis. It all comes after the devastating Israeli airstrike that killed 7 World Central Kitchen aid workers in Gaza.
The president emphasized that the strikes on humanitarian workers and the overall humanitarian situation are unacceptable.
Among the dead, a 33-year-old American-Canadian father, Jacob Flickinger.
We've lost our only son, but we're only 2. There are thousands and thousands.
His parents sharing their grief with all those who've lost loved ones in Gaza and calling for an independent investigation beyond Israel's assertion that the clearly marked vehicles were misidentified in the dark of night.
It shouldn't have happened.
What Israel calls a tragic mistake, now an inflection point in the war and in U.S.-Israeli relations. And this is key, too. U.S. officials said that there could be a significant change in U.S.-Israeli relations if Prime Minister Netanyahu does not agree to an immediate ceasefire, saying the easiest way to do that is still to tie that to the release of Hamas-held hostages. And that is something that President Biden, that ceasefire, something he pressed for hard in this 30-minute call. Isabel?
All right, a situation, of course, we'll continue to watch. Alice Barr live in Washington for us. Alice, thank you.